effectively. We were just chatting with people here live and getting feedback around how frustrating it can be at times when you're putting out content to not see a lot of engagement. I don't know about you, but there's been days when I was first learning how to do this where I would put out content and see nothing. It was just totally crickets. And it can be so frustrating when you invest that kind of time in social media and not necessarily see much engagement or love for it. So by the end of this session, you're definitely going to learn a lot about how to use content effectively, how to create content quickly and effectively so that you're not spending hours on Facebook or Instagram every day, and how to do it strategically so that when you're putting out content, you actually have an opportunity to connect with people, to create new relationships and warm those relationships up so that they can actually become more interested in your products and your business opportunities. So that's a quick overview of what we're going to do. And very quickly, I just want to introduce our lovely ladies. And Amy and Sarah and Carla are going to lead the majority of this presentation. So Jules, you just want to say hello. And I know you're also very savvy with social media. I'm just curious if there's, a tip that you'd like to share, or maybe just encouragement around social media in general for people here that are just learning this and perhaps feeling a little frustrated. Is there any sage advice or encouragement you'd offer to them that could help them stay the course? Because we all know if you are consistent and persistent on social media, it is a game changer in terms of your business. So I'll let you take the mic there.
Yeah, I think that I guess my best advice is to, like you said, be consistent. So I try to just make sure I have a regular presence, and it doesn't always have to be some groundbreaking piece of news. People just kind of want to see, who you are, what you're doing. Don't post pictures of your lunch necessarily. And I think Carla and Amy and Sarah will give you some great content, things that will really draw people in. But I just try to be myself. And I think that's what people look for. They want to see who you are and what you're about and what's interesting to you. I like to use humor in mine. That's part of my personality. And I think that, I don't use everything. I think Facebook and Instagram are the two that I'm on the most, and there's a lot of things out there that can kind of get overwhelming. So I think just kind of find what you most feel excited to, what platforms you most feel excited to use, and then just be consistent on those. And let people kind of see who you are.
Brilliant. Well, you nailed it. Authenticity is the key. I know Sarah's going to talk a lot about that today. And it's called social media for a reason, right? It's where people go to be social. They don't necessarily go to Facebook or Instagram because they're looking for a business opportunity or they're looking to buy a product. That can certainly still happen. But using these platforms for social reasons is really the start to developing those kinds of business relationships and opportunities. So let me hop in here with my slide deck and get this going. And could you just confirm, everybody, if you can see those slides? The first one there should say succeed without selling.
I can see them.
There you go. Fantastic. Okay. So again, through this series, the strategies that we've been sharing with you, ultimately, we want to inspire you to continue to grow your business, but to adopt this authentic, heart-centered way of doing it. So if you're someone who, loves your company, loves your products, but really hates feeling salesy, maybe, when you reach out to people, you're not sure what to say, or you don't want to spam people, especially on Facebook and Instagram. So perhaps you find yourself holding back and not necessarily initiating those relationships. What you learn in this session and through this entire series is really designed to help you be very, very successful without necessarily having to use those spammy and salesy techniques. And I'm just curious, those of you that are here, have you ever noticed, especially on Facebook, unfortunately, it still happens. Have you ever received a direct message from someone who, although probably well-intentioned, it was a pretty spammy or salesy message? I'm just curious if everybody here has had that happen at least once. Yes, of course. And I'm just curious, how does it feel when you receive that on the other side? Do you light up and are excited to respond back? Do you hit delete? Do you feel uncomfortable? Generally, those are not very effective. Drives me crazy. Kelly says she gets a lot of cold messages. Yes. So that is a great example of how not to do social, in my opinion. And I think these mentors would agree with me. But when used effectively, social media can be the most incredible tool. And if you don't like being salesy, then these strategies we're going to share with you today will definitely make a difference in how you connect with people on social media and the kinds of relationships you develop. And if you follow these tips, without a doubt, you will find that you can grow your business very quickly. You can develop a six-figure, multiple six, multiple seven-figure business using social media. And we know that because every one of these mentors that you're hearing from has done that. And although we've built our businesses in more traditional ways too, without a doubt, I'm guessing you would all agree with me, ladies, that learning how to use social media effectively, it is the key. If you truly want to develop a six or a seven-figure business from home and not have to spend hours and hours a week, talking to people face to face, this is ultimately the best tool that you have at your disposal. So the goals for this entire series is really to help you learn simple strategies every session that you can take away and put into action. That's the bit that we're advocating all the time. We don't want you to just sit here and learn and, take these ideas and intellectually, we actually want you to put them into action. So please do have something handy to take notes today. Jot down these ideas. If you have questions, we'll definitely come back at the end. And I just want to mention too, everything you're learning here is just a small sample of what's available to you through an online school that we're collaborating through. It's called the Business Academy for Women in Network Marketing. And at the end, if you love what you learn and you like to take this further, we have opened the doors. We only do this once a year. So for a very short time, if you're inspired, you have the opportunity to actually join us in the Academy. And you'll see when we present this at the end, this is super affordable. Honestly, everybody here could afford to join if you're inspired. So keep that in mind and we'll happily share some details at the end. But through this session, we want to be sure you get tons of value and ideas you can take away and actually use right away. So that's the goal. Also, we have a really cool bonus. There's a way for you to get a copy of the Believe Conference, which is a conference that I produced a few years ago, and many of these leaders were involved with it too. For an entire weekend, we had some of the most successful women in network marketing come together and share their best business building strategies. And there were many amazing social media strategies shared during that weekend. If you ever want to buy a copy of this program, you can do so on the website. It's $297. But at the end, we'll show you how you can actually get a copy of that for free. So that's a little bonus incentive too. All right, I'm not going to take a lot of time because we've gone through this before, but everything we teach too comes from this simple 5-step formula. So wherever you are with your business, if you follow along and work on these 5 steps, we promise you can be very successful. You can build a business that literally can change your life, can change the life of many other people, and that ultimately can save you a lot of time too. Many of us work part-time hours and make a very nice full-time income, and that really is possible if you follow these steps. So just to repeat quickly, obviously, to get going with your business, you need the right leads. And in the very first webinar, that's what we focused on. The second webinar, we talked a lot about language, what to say to people so that they see the value in your products and business without you having to be salesy or hypey or hassle your friends and family. And then where we're going to go today is this concept here of leverage. And leverage really is the opportunity to get better results with less time. So when it comes to social media, there is no better way to do this. The advantage you have with Facebook and Instagram and all these other amazing platforms is you can literally, with the push of a button, connect with hundreds and even thousands of people. And if you're using content effectively in your feed, you literally can be connecting and creating relationships even when you're sleeping. So what we're going to cover here today is really around that topic, because having the right content makes all the difference in your capacity to be seen on Facebook, in your capacity to meet new people. Like I mentioned before, if you put out content that's really effective, it becomes like this lead magnet, and it can lead to all kinds of conversations and conversions and give you a very, very elegant way to attract customers and business partners on the internet. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my slides and I'm going to turn it over here to Amy, who's going to jump in. She's got this fantastic approach, her CPR approach, which I'm going to let her explain in more detail. And if you follow these tips, you will know exactly what to do on social to connect with people and really develop those kinds of relationships. So Amy, I'll let you take it away. And I think you might still be muted there, hon. Yeah.
All
There you
right,
go.
let's see. And can you see my screen?
We can, yes.
Oh, fantastic. All righty. So hold back here and okay, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome. I wanted to start by saying opportunity dances with those that are on the dance floor. And you are all on the dance floor today, which I love, and you're dancing with all of us. Some of you have been dancing now for, what is this, I guess our third session. And I just think that taking the opportunity to be here and dance with us, if you will, is, you know, kudos to you for that. Congratulations on just taking that time. And I'm super excited to share this really, really simple process that I call CPR. And that is all about the contact, the posting, and replying within your Facebook or Instagram or wherever you are. And you'll notice the little heart there. And I'm wearing my heart here today too. Is it backwards, by the way?
No,
Show more love, or are you reading it?
Oh,
It's backwards
no,
to me.
it works. No, it's the right way.
Oh, that's good, because I'm looking at it backwards and I've never asked before. So good. I'm glad you're reading it the right way. But today I'm just going to share a simple yet effective way in literally 10 minutes a day. And there is a key there to that. It is a timed approach, because I don't know about you. Has anyone ever gotten lost in the Instagram or the Facebook scroll and all of a sudden 30 minutes has passed by, or 45 minutes? This is a 10-minute process. So the other thing that it's going to have you avoid is anybody out there ever get put in Facebook jail? Anyone? Yeah. Oh, Carla's like, yes, me.
I did at the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, Sonia in the beginning, right? So Facebook jail, for those of you that are not familiar, if you are taking the same words, kind of what Sonia was just talking about, those cold messages, oftentimes it is a copy paste. So then Facebook, the algorithms are so smart, they recognize this and then they shut down your account and you can't reach out to anyone. And that is very sad for somebody in a social selling business like you are. So this process of CPR, contact, post, and replying will also avoid Facebook jail. So yay for that, right? Yes. All right. So why do you want to do social CPR? Well, obviously there's going to be an increased engagement. And when you have increased engagement on your posts, that means there's more eyes seeing it, because the more interaction that your post receives, the higher it climbs in the feeds of your connections. And the algorithms really love that. They are very happy when that happens. So it gets seen more often and for longer periods of time. And obviously, if it's seen more often, then you're just going to have more leads, more customers, and eventually more business partners. And that, of course, is all going to lead to increased income. So show of hands. Are we ready for this? We like this? We want more? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, excellent. All right. So now we know the why. So let's just talk about the how a little bit. For the C in CPR is comment. And I have the love and some love with a question mark. I don't understand why not everyone uses the love every single time. I think it's going to make you stand out. Yes, it takes 1 second to kind of go up and hit to the left a little bit, but it absolutely makes your post stand out. I'm going to ask a question. Have you ever made a post and went to look to see who cared it, who liked it, who loved it, who wowed it? Yeah, I see some nods. Yes. Well, why wouldn't you be doing the same? I find that the fewer people love. So I'm going to be showing you a tip in a minute here on lists. So when you're loving, it drives the conversation and it drives visibility, let's say, of that post. Okay. So simple, easy to do. And you see all the love. I've been doing it for years, ever since I've been able to. So I love the love, obviously. Love the love. All right. And then with the post, this is pretty simple. And it's something called following the 1/3 rule and the thirds rule. And this is really important because I think Jules even mentioned in the beginning, like you don't want to, if you're a foodie or maybe you do something with food, you don't want to be posting your lunch all the time, or maybe your smoothies or hair or whatever the product is. You do not want to be posting the same thing every time. I have to stop myself from posting my puppy because I'm totally puppy obsessed. Anyone else have a pet? And you know, they're so cute, and I love my puppy, but not everybody wants to see my puppy at the beach all the time. So I have to remember the rule of 1/3. And so what that is basically a third of the time I'm promoting business, a third of the time I'm sharing some content that is, in this case, on the screen, you'll see a motivational quote. And then the last one, I humanize myself. That's a picture of me and my son at his football game. So when you can remember the rule of thirds, you're going to be less likely to tune somebody out and have them really tune in and keep up. So we actually, you know, Sonia mentioned this in the beginning, our business academy that we have a really great tool that you get with the business academy, and it's our calendar, which automatically does this for you. So whether you're talking about your product and how it solves a problem, or whether you're using the post to engage, or you're doing something personal, when you join the Business Academy every single day, not only do we give you the tip on what you should be posting on that day, but then we have a tab that even gives you some sample quotes, some images, some words. It's really, really beautiful. So I wanted to throw that in there because if you're overwhelmed with the thought of having to create every day, we take that guesswork out for you. And it's still personalized. It's still all about you and your business. And it really makes those algorithms happy. Okay. Any questions with that? I guess we can take that at the questions at the end. I don't know if I'm talking too fast or too slow. It's the
No, you're great.
okay. The East Coast in me. Okay. The next thing that is probably absolutely the most important because it builds connections, and that's the reply. If you're posting and people are commenting on your posts, be sure to reply. So for instance, in this one, she wrote, Billy Joel, I don't even know what I asked. Apparently it must have been about a concert or music or favorite music. I don't even know. But she wrote Billy Joel, Bon Jovi, Elton. And I'm like, oh, I've seen them in concert. Love the movie about Elton. And then all of a sudden, here's a conversation happening with someone I haven't talked to in years. And now this connection has been formed. So if I see that Bon Jovi is going to be in concert soon, I'm going to personally send her a message and be like, hey, have you seen this? Because I have that connection with her now. And do you think maybe that she might take a look at the services that I have to offer and maybe share it with a friend or think more about it because we have that connection? Absolutely, yes. So simple to do, but just make sure that you are replying when you do your posting and building those connections. And last, but definitely not least, when you are intentional with your CPR using lists, this is going to take the time and energy of that 10 minutes, something that maybe would normally take an hour or so, you can do it in 10 minutes with lists. And this is how. In your Facebook profile, you have the ability to target certain groups of people, whether it's your family, friends, people from high school, people that you met on Instagram and now you have them over on Facebook and maybe you're inviting them to a group, people that have bought from you, your team, I have my sorority sisters on here, at different prospects that I meet out and about. So you can create lists and it's really simple. All you need to do is go on your URL and click on the Facebook icon. That's step number one. Step number two is you got to find your friends list. The first time I was looking for it, it was kind of buried in there. So just make sure you scroll all the way down to find that. And then once you access it, it will climb closer to the top the more times that you are in there using it. So that's it. Find your friends list. And thirdly, create a list. So who, as I mentioned before, right? Family might be one, friends might be another, your college friends, high school team members, prospects. Maybe you always do a market, a vendor, you know, we're back outside again post COVID. So maybe there's a vendor event that you do every single week and you're meeting people there. You can put them into a list. Different leads from different events. You know, my team and I, we used to do yearly events. So you can add to that list ongoing. And so if they always attend a women's conference or some kind of business networking event in your town every single year, you can add them to that. So when you post, you're making personalized posts. And then of course your VIPs, those customers, the people that love you and buy from you all the time. That's always a great one. And you might do special things for them. That's another great list. And then this is where there's a little bit of time, right, that comes with creating all of these lists. However, this is the exciting part. Once you create the new list, it's very simple. You click that button, you name the list, you add members, so you have to be friends with them. Then, this is my Chi Omega, my sorority list. I have 87 sorority sisters on this list. And what it does is it populates them all in one Facebook feed so that I can go through and intentionally love on and like and comment on these 87 people from my sorority. So for example, if you were doing this with you know, leads from Instagram, for example, all of these people would then be there, and then you can intentionally try and build that relationship with them by going in and commenting and replying and loving on their posts. So that part is really, really exciting. It's something that normally for me to find 87 people, I would have to type their name in and look for the post. This is simply scrolling through and commenting and posting. Okay. So social CPR will breathe new life into your relationships and your business. And that is all I have for today.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amy, that list strategy is brilliant. And if you've never used lists or you haven't learned how to use lists effectively, that is really worth your time. Like you said, it can take a little bit of time to set it up, but oh my goodness, does it make it so much easier to basically find those people. If you hit on the list, it brings up all their posts, right? So you can just see very quickly amongst, say, your sorority sisters, who's posted in the last week or so, right? You can go and comment and engage with those posts, get those conversations started again. And it just like demystifies the whole feed. And in a way you get to kind of beat the algorithm, right? Because if you were to put a piece of content out to just that list, Facebook is kind of forced to feed that piece of content to those people. Whereas if you just put it out in the general feed, you know, it may or may not ever get to those particular people. So that is an amazing tip. And I know we did a training on that recently in the Academy. We're going to do a lot more with lists. But I just want to make that point. If you haven't used those effectively, oh my goodness, that is a game changer kind of technique. So thank you for mentioning that, Amy. Brilliant stuff.
Sure.
Really cool. Okay, now we're going to hand the mic to Miss Carla Silver, who's got a very cool piece of content. I think this is a pretty revolutionary little strategy you have here, my dear. And I know it helps to attract business without being salesy or even obvious. So I'll let you take the screen here.
Awesome, awesome. I cannot wait to share this with everybody. How would you like, I'll just ask this question before I share my screen. How would you like for business builders or customers to come to you and say, I want to buy what you have, before you've even connected with them? Like, you didn't even know that they were watching you. I'm going to share with you how to do that right this second. Just want to make sure that you can see my screen, guys, before I get going. And the reason that I am so passionate about teaching this is that I didn't know this was happening to me. And I was watching a woman post in a way that at one point I'm like, I just have to work with her. I have to work with her. I don't know how much she costs. I'm not exactly sure what she does, but I have to work with this woman. So we had a conversation, and the whole conversation, I'm just sitting there waiting for her to tell me how to get started and how much to pay her. And once I decoded how she was posting, I'm teaching everyone how to do this, because being able to have your prospects mostly, if not 100% sold, even before they like even almost before they even know that they have a problem that you can solve, or even know exactly what you do, is pretty attractive. Would you all agree? I'm sure you would, because I know that I would. It's much easier for me to just plain get someone started than have to do all the front work on the front of the business opportunity. So I'm going to be talking about PAL posts, and this is you sharing social proof, all the social proof that you need to attract and sell those perfect prospects to you, even before they're aware of the problem. This is without being a salesy weirdo. You just have the opportunity to create a tsunami of business coming your way, where people are, where, like my friend Molly likes to say, throwing credit cards at your face. So what exactly is this dang PAL post? What am I talking about? So all PAL posts are proof of work. That's all it is. It's proof that what you do, whether your business opportunity or your products, that they actually work. And it's not about the name of your business. It's not about the names of your products. It's about the things that we were talking about last week when we were talking about what are the results? How do people feel when they get started with you? What are they looking for? Your prospects, 100% of them are looking to trust you. They're looking to know that what you do works. And they don't want to be hit over the head with like, hey, Joni over here made $400,000 in the last 3 days, because they're not going to believe you. So how
Hey, Carla, sorry to interrupt you, hon. It looks like, I think your screen is maybe not full size, and I think some people might be having a harder time.
I just made it full size.
There you go. That,
Okay,
I think that
awesome.
was it. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So social proof, it can be video testimonials. There are 5 kinds I'm going to share with you, so you can write them down, and then I'm going to show you what they look like. Video testimonials, written testimonials, and these I don't like the word, I shouldn't have used the word testimonial. It's just videos or written posts or screenshots or influencer endorsement. And what I mean by that is not like Joni, who's the big fashion influencer on Instagram. I'm talking about people like this group of amazing women that you're talking to today, or your upline, or somebody in your business that has a little bit more success than you do. And lastly, credibility posting. So what does that mean? Well, here is just an example. I just found this. All I did was go looking on the internet. I'm going to share with you a bunch of things today. All I did was go looking on Facebook, and I found proof of work, PAL posts everywhere. This was somebody in doTERRA that happened to make a quick video about what her experience was and why she got started. This is somebody in one of my companies that I work with, and I just want you to listen to what she has to say.
Hey everybody, this is Mace Maloney. I'm like pee your pants excited here. I just had to hop on. I can't find the camera here. Carla, I don't know where to look, but I'm gonna tell you guys, I did my power boost yesterday, and at 11 o'clock last night, I looked at my phone and I had a message saying, "Hey girl, I'm totally interested in your business. Send me some more information." And I'm like freaking shocked. I know, Carla, it works for you, but I didn't think it was gonna work for me.
Here's the point. The reason that I shared that with you is this is I just did a PAL post about a PAL post. I wanted to prove to you that this actually works. So when you think about, when you're looking about around you, things that are happening in your company, the comments that people are making in Facebook groups, watch for videos, screenshots that you can take and share on your timeline that isn't you bragging about your results or your team's results or your company's results. You want to brag about other people's successes. PAL posts are all about celebrating other people. You know, I always get the question all the time, like, Carla, I'm just starting. I'm just getting going. I haven't had the results that all these other people have had before. And this is a way you can post that has nothing to do with what you've done or what you haven't done. As a matter of fact, it's really important not to be talking about what you've achieved and what rank you made and how much money you made. This is all about celebrating and proving that your business works, that your business is real, because I don't care how long your company's been around. The last company I was with was a publicly traded company, was in the Direct Sales Association, we had all of this amazing credibility. Yet one of the number one questions that I got when people were asking about my business getting started was, is this company real? And I'm like, heck, I don't even know how it can be more realer. I know that isn't a word. So your job is just to prove this, prove over and over and over again that what you do works in the way you post on social. Makes it so much easier. Here's a couple of examples that, again, I just found as I was trolling around Facebook. You can find these as well on Instagram. This is, I don't know, Susie Toots Glitter Fisher. I don't know who she is, but she's probably pretty amazing. And she just said, I decided to be that girl that went for it in my life. And she showed a picture of her around other people that were also doing what she's doing. What does that prove? It proves that she's doing something real. She's surrounding herself with other people who are on the same path. So again, that's just another confirmation to your prospects out there that, oh, heck, right? Sarah's doing this thing. This is pretty cool. I might want to pay attention closer to what she's doing. This is Liz Udi, and she says here, I want to give a huge shout out to my girl, Charlesie. She's been rocking her health. In the last 4 months, she's helped 9 other people. No mention of the company name, no mention of the products. It's just, hey, this chick is cool. I want to celebrate her. What does that do? I want to point something out here that's really important, I think. I call it the law of edification. I don't know what it is actually called, but I call it the law of edification. When you are edifying someone else, the person that looks good is actually you, right? So I like to edify, and of course, the person you're edifying feels great. Everybody feels great, but it's you in the end that looks fabulous when you're edifying somebody else. There's probably a law of edification that means something else entirely. Screenshots. You don't have to grab a ton of screenshots. You can grab just little screenshots and share them in your posts. I happen to be part of, I'm not in this company, but I'm in a group that's in a essential oil company. I just went to their team page and I'm like, whoa, there's all these great screenshots that I can share with you guys to show what a endorsement or testimonial or screenshot is like. So just always be on the lookout for places where you can grab little screenshots. You can X out people's names. You can keep people's names if you feel like that they're okay with sharing it. But again, it's not your saying my business is so great, my products are so great. It's grabbing somebody else's third-party testimonial in quotes and sharing with other people on social. When people rank up, this is another great opportunity for you to say, hey, and again, it doesn't have to be your downline. It can be anybody, in my personal opinion, it can be anybody in your company. What I don't like to see is like, hey, Joni made bronze or Susie made a senior director, because your prospects probably don't know what that means. So just translate that into something that makes sense to your prospect and edify the people in your team, because your company has I guarantee you, has a boatload of success stories all over the place. So keep an eye out for them and share them. This is Patty Hanna, which I also don't know, but she's given a shout out to Jennifer Hyder and all the other leaders that ranked up in October. This is Eileen McDowell, and she just grabbed a bunch of pictures of people on her team that had just joined her company. And she just honored them, said, I'm proud of this person. This person got started. Here's a really cool mom of 3. And said, working from home is working from my phone is a blessing, and we're grateful. Again, she's just proving to the people that are following her that not only is she working her business and she's serious about working her business, because your prospects do not believe yet necessarily that you are super serious about building your business. So you must prove that over and over. And an easy way to do that is through PAL posts. And she's proving that the other people are signing up with her and other members of her team. Another example here is Denise Dutra. She did some stats about what she had accomplished in her first month. She was super excited. And then the next day she sent me a bunch of, because I taught her PAL posts. And she said, Carla, I went for it in my stories and PAL. I woke up to these messages this morning. So she had somebody that said, oh my gosh, I'm interested. I want to get out of debt. Somebody responded to one of her polls in her stories and said, yes, I'm in. Denise said, and I just got this, I'm freaking out and super nervous. Okay, call me tomorrow and talk to me tomorrow about what is happening. So you can go for it in your PAL post, because again, it's not about you. It's not about being a salesy weirdo. It's just about proving over and over and over and over and over again that people are winning with you and your company. Two more great examples. And this one I want to share with you real quick, because I just got a message from Carla McQuarrie. She had told me that she was going to hit the top rank in her company. And so I decided, this is the message. She said, I hit my goal. This first thing. This is Messenger. And then all I did was take a screenshot of this message and put it on social, put it in my Facebook timeline. Then I made a little graphic and I put it in my timeline. And then I made another graphic and I put it in my stories. You can use these. This is one story that I made 3 different things out of. And then you can use these over and over again. You don't need to just post it one time. You can post it, and then 2 months later, you can post the same dang thing again, because most of the people didn't see it anyway the first time. So no need to continually make content over and over and over and over and over again. Make it once and use it over and over and over and over again. Okay, there's another example, guys. This is actually is a repeat of what I just did. And here's the last one I want to share with you. It's really the part of what you do. And I have an assignment for you guys. So grab your phones right now. Part of what you guys are doing here is you're investing your time, your energy, time is money, and money in learning how to improve yourself and your business just by being here. So isn't that something that you would like to share with the other members of the people that are following you on social, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever platform it is? So this is Judy Winslow. She happened to be attending an event, and she said, I'm a mess, my house is a wreck, but here I am again in another workshop, soaking it all up like a damn sponge. Man, I love this stuff. Now think about this. What does that prove to her, the people in social media that are watching her? It proves that she's serious about what she does. It proves that she's somebody that they'd probably be successful joining her team, because she knows what she's doing. And it proves that she's consistently out there investing time, energy, and money in herself. So what I would like to do right now is for all of you to take your phone. I have some homework here. Take your phone out, grab your camera, face it towards you, turn around, and take a picture. Now everybody, Sarah, look up. Amy, Sonia, look up so you look beautiful in the picture.
Good. Yay.
And take a picture.
Sonia, she wants us in the picture. Hold on.
Oh, I'm taking my own picture.
Picture of you and post it. I'm just going to give you a free PAL post. Everybody cool with that? Take this picture, write something, upload it onto the post, and then use the hashtag Business Academy for Women. And I'll put that in the, I'll put that long hashtag in the comments. This is your first easy to do PAL post. And every single time I'm on some special, I'm investing in training, or I'm on something on a Saturday, I always put that up there because I want people to know that that I'm doing what I need to do to bring the goodness to my students and the people that work with me. So that's all I have, guys. PowerPoint
Wow.
made me and so many other women in network marketing, tons and tons of new business builders and partners and customers over and over and over and over again.
Love it. Carla, thank you. My gosh, we could do a few hours of training just on that strategy. And if you decide, those of you here, to join us in the Academy, we will go into this in a lot of depth, because I don't know if you noticed, like, as compelling as those posts were, I didn't see a single company name. I even noticed that there was a screenshot that featured the leaders, and they carefully ensured the company name was not on the screenshot. So people see the proof and they get curious and they want to learn more, but there's nothing salesy about it. There's no products, there's no buy now, there's no join me in the biz, none of that, right? It's just very, very compelling proof about the benefits of a product and a business opportunity. And they work, they definitely work. So Carla, brilliant strategy. Thank you for sharing. And I know I'm seeing some questions here. Just hold them to the very end, everybody, and we'll make sure we get time to go back and answer those, because we're going to be a little tight on time. And the lovely Sarah has got a fantastic strategy to share. And I just want to remind you, Sarah and her team have attracted over 1 million customers. Every time I say that word, Sarah, I'm like, I can barely believe it, but I know it's true. And it's through using the strategies that she's been sharing through this series. So take this seriously. I mean, Amy's done incredibly well on social media. Carla's done incredibly well. And like, the stuff we're sharing with you really works. So definitely take notes. And Sarah, I'm going to just pass the mic to you so you can go through your 10-4-1 strategy. It's also brilliant.
Okay, awesome. Well, hi, everybody. Let me share my screen. Can you see it full screen?
It's perfect.
Okay,
Lovely.
last time I was a little nervous, so we're
No, it's great. It's
okay
great.
today. Last time Amy was like 911, 911. Okay, guys, here we go. Well, first of all, I am so thrilled to be here and just kind of echo just really so much of what Carla and Amy said today. It's so cool because I think we all kind of knew we were talking social media, but we really didn't know what each other's content was. So I feel like ours is just going to kind of ebb and flow perfectly together. And, you know, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But here's what I do want to tell you guys. The reason you need to be in this academy is we have so much more good stuff that we're going to give you on social media. As I was putting this together today, I'm like, oh my word, how do I do my best to condense all of this, right? So I promise that I'm going to do my best, but I'm also going to make sure that you don't feel like you're drinking from a fire hose today. But like Amy, I do talk a little fast, so I apologize for those of you that are in another country. Sometimes I talk so fast, people think that I'm talking Spanish, so which is kind of cool, right? But here's what I want you guys to know. On social media, your story and your influence matters. And that was a big thing for me. I felt like for a long time that, you know, why would anyone want to listen to me? Why does it, you know, why would my story matter? But the reality is that every single one of us, we have a message and we have a story, and understand that, you know, Carla's story is different than Jules' story, which is different than my story, which is different than Amy's story, right? And there's so many different people that are on social media that can relate to different people's stories. So just, I want you to understand that your story is such an important part when it comes to posting and that type of thing on social media. So authenticity wins, guys. Okay. I want you to understand this. Being authentic and being not afraid to just show up as you, I promise you, will serve you so well on social media. My husband and I, we love to have fun, and we want to make sure that on social media, they know that, right? We talked about earlier, I can't remember who mentioned it early on. One of these great ladies did. They talked about, a lot of times we forget that social media, like we forget the word social, like that's a big part, right? That's a big part of what we do. And so people are on Facebook because they want to be entertained, you know, they want to have fun. Like for a lot of people, it's their escape, right? Let's face it, the last 2 years has been kind of crazy. So people are on social media to laugh and be entertained and feel good and all that. So don't forget to, like, don't lose yourself, right? When it comes to social media. Like I tell people all the time, as silly as this sounds, like be normal, right? Just show up as you on social media. So one of the things that I know that Carla did an awesome job on, oh my gosh, but what has helped us so well, guys, and I'm not going to go through this too much in detail, but one of the things I know all of us, we want people to, I think like if we had like the perfect post out there, it would be the post where people are saying, how do I get that? I want that. How do I buy that? Right? Like Carla said, here's my credit card. Well, the way that we do that, one of the amazing concepts on social media is called the power of curiosity, right? Like, how do I actually spark people's interest to go, I want that, right? It's such an important thing. And here's what I want you guys to know. Content is everywhere, right? Content is everywhere. Like that is not a problem. But I will tell you what a challenge is on social media is curiosity is not. So if you can be the person that shows up with a little mystery on social media, they're going to love it, right? It's kind of like, I always remind people, you can either be like the 30-second or 60-second trailer to the movie, or you could be that person that explains the entire movie to somebody, right? How many of us hate when people do that? So I'm like, don't tell me everything, right? But if they give you that 30 seconds, you're like, ooh, I want to know more, right? So, so it's really important that when you're on social media, you leave a little bit of curiosity, right? You leave that mystery in everything that you do. So what does curiosity mean, right? Okay, so very, very simple definition. It's just talking about something without using your product or your company name in a way that actually sparks people's interest, right? Where they set up and they want to reach out to you, right? Like, like we had heard, we talked about how we don't use, sometimes people say, well, why don't you post the company name, or why don't you post the company product, right? How many of us have heard of a word called Google, right? Okay, Google is a great thing, but also Google's not necessarily a great thing for us, right? Because if we have our company name plastered everywhere or product or service everywhere, what typically are people going to do? They're going to go to Google, right? And they're going to Google it, and all of a sudden they somehow get out, they're not connected to you anymore, and they're ordering from someone else, or they're finding it on the internet, right? We want to keep people on our profile, right? So the reason that we do that is not because we're not proud of our company, right? Or proud of our product or service. But again, we want to leave that curiosity where people go, what is that? Right? How do I get that? Right? Can you hook me up with that? So again, it's the curiosity piece is absolutely everything in your business. So I want to walk you guys through a very simple 10-4-1 formula. What's really cool is that a lot of what Carla talked about and a lot of what Amy talked about is all built in here. So some of the stuff that I'm going to go through is, again, just reinforcing and showing you guys, all right, these girls know what they're talking about and they're all on the same page. And like, this is what we all legit do every day to build a business. Okay. So the reason I call it 10-4-1, guys, is that 10 plus 4 plus 1 is 15, right? So our goal is to do 15 posts a week. So that's typically like 2 a day, right? Give or take. And so these posts, you just kind of weave throughout your entire week. Okay, so typically I like to do at least 10 fun or personal posts every single week. Okay, and these posts can be practical, they can be useful, they can be an inspirational quote, they can be a inspirational story, they can be humor. I should have actually put humor all in capital. I do humor a lot. Oh my gosh, people love people that are funny. And guess what? Every single one of you, even if you think you're not, you're funny. Everybody's funny. You just gotta let that funny bone out. So humor is a huge thing. Your everyday life, right? So I kind of am always thinking like, it's kind of like, think about like the day in the life of you, right? And again, don't be the one that says, oh, I don't have anything to share. My life is boring. No, it's not. That's just what you tell yourself, right? Remember my first slide? What did I say? Your story matters. Okay. So every single one of your story matters. Okay. Engagement posts, which I'm not going to have a lot of time to go into, but when you're in the academy, oh my gosh, we've got lots of good training on that. Maybe it's a post on giving back, right? Maybe it's a humanitarian post. Maybe it's something about community, right? So 10 fun and personal posts every week. Then there's 4 indirect posts. Okay, so indirect posts, guys, can actually quite a bit of what Carla talked about, the POW post, a lot of that social proof, those are all indirect posts about your business, about lifestyle of your business, right? About, the business in general. So a lot of those things can actually be these indirect posts. Okay. So maybe it's a business quote, maybe it's a business tip pertaining to like your actual product or your actual service. Again, without saying the name, right? Just again, it's that indirect approach. Maybe it's something like a personal lifestyle post. Maybe it's a generic product one, before and after, right? Some type of excitement post. It could be also maybe a mix of, I don't know, leadership, practical content that's specific to your business. Okay. And again, a lot of what Carla talked about, oh my gosh, like I love that she just kind of like helped me clean all this up, but she gave you such great examples of what those could actually look like. Curiosity posts. I'm not going to go through all these again in the academy. Hello, we're going to go through all these. This could be a whole 2-hour training, but there are many, many, many different ways of doing curiosity posts through referral posts, recognition, gratitude posts, interview ones, testimonials, demonstrations, giveaways, product and service posts. There's lots of great ways to create curiosity where people actually sit up and go, hey, like, how do I get that stuff, right? And then one power post. So this power post is done once a week, and this is specifically related to your product, service, and business. This could actually be a little bit more of a, I guess if you wanted to say salesy type post, maybe it's a promotion that someone in your team had or you had, right? Maybe it's a team recognition, maybe it's an achievement or success. Maybe it's an online event that you're going to be hosting for your company, right? Without saying your company name or what have you, or even like business opportunity, Zoom, etc. But again, not using company names, right? But again, it's that power post that's a little bit more like directed, right, when it comes to business, right? So one power post a week. So here's what I want to do. You guys know I love to give real life examples. So I know actually this was actually kind of hard for me to see too. So I know some of you guys are already going to say, I can't read those. So I'm going to read some of them for you. Okay. So I love to have humor on mine. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, so one of my things that I did on the far right or on the far bottom left is actually a picture of my kids. They're on their iPads and they were actually in the bathroom floor. And they had actually gone and got a bunch of food and whatever. My kids are kind of weird. And I opened the door and they had all this food on the floor and they were watching like their little iPads. And I'm like, guys, like, what are you doing here? Right. And so my post on here was like, hey, does anyone else have kids that hide and stash food? I found wrappers in every single closet and opened up my bathroom and saw this. And so then I said, me, what are you doing? And why is all this food here? And my daughter says, we're having a party in here, Mom. And then my son says, it's like we're at the movie theater. Can you shut the lights off and close the door and come back later? Right. And so it's humor, right? It's real life stuff. And you know what? I had so many people that interacted with me because they could relate. They're like, oh my gosh, my son eats, I would find butter wrappers in his closet and I would find like this crazy stuff. Right. Another one of these posts that my husband did was a little bit more indirect, but it said, hey, scared to do a Facebook Live. And it says, find a way to get comfortable and be authentically you. Here's Tony's version. And it said Facebook Live on the top, right, which is all dressed all nice. And then on the bottom, he's wearing a pair of basketball shorts, right? And it says sports fanatic on the bottom, right? And people love that. And I had people that commented and said, oh my gosh, I feel so much more comfortable because I realized like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you guys just kind of do it and you just get out there and you just share your story and people love that kind of stuff, right? So lots of cool things that you can do. Here on the bottom left is like a before and after. Some of the other ones I did were like more lifestyle, right? Different posts. The one on the far right is my husband. He's so funny. This is actually with one of our products and he talks about how he has a steamy love affair and don't tell Sarah about it. And, it's really cute and everyone loved it. And they're like, oh my gosh, how do I get that? And, and notice too on there, like you can't see the name of the product, right? So we do that for a reason. So people are like, what is that? How do I get a hold of it? Right. So people love you just kind of living your life. They get a chance to see how you are, right, and have fun. Here's some other ones that are more like, business type ones, personal development. Here's a kind of funny one. Tony, look, is hanging out as a beetle and I'm hanging out as a fish. And I don't even know what we're in this little post. I just talk about don't bite off more than you can chew, right? I had fun with it and was kind of a cute little post. But just as I live my life, like I'm doing the 10-4-1 every single day. So I think a lot of times we think that we have to be so clever and we have to have these like most amazing things. But the reality is, guys, is that it's just getting out there, living your life, because Carla had talked about it earlier. When people like you and trust you, guess what? They're going to do business with you. When they can relate and see that you're a normal person, just like them, and it's not perfect, they're going to love it. They look for, he's funny, she's funny, and they make me feel good. Oh, wow, they don't have it all together either, right? Oh my gosh, but I'm inspired by them because they post positive things. Like people want to be surrounded by people like that, right? And so the one thing that I think is important, and I'm going to wrap this up and turn it back over, but as I'm like posting throughout my entire week, always remember, guys, that again, people are on because it's social, right? So imagine you're posting the things that you do are majority of what you want to post. It needs to be like a television show, right? So how many of us, we watch a television show and we watch it, and then all of a sudden they'll throw in a little commercial, right, about something. And then it's the show again, and it's a little commercial. And that's the same way that you want to do your posting. So for me, like I'm like, post, then your power post, right? Post, then your power post. So majority of what everyone's seeing throughout my entire week is a television show. Okay. Now I don't need to think like I have some reality show, because I don't got it all together. I'm a hot mess, and so are my kids, and it's okay. But it's the television show, right? So always be thinking when you're posting, be like, am I doing a television show right now, or am I doing a commercial? Right? And so make sure, like, you don't want to be doing commercial, right? People aren't going to be watching your show anymore. They're going to like unfollow. They're not going to be watching anything that you do. You want to make sure that you're the person that is the television show and the television show and the television show. And every so often you throw in that commercial, but a lot of times they're not even going to catch that you're doing that commercial, because they fall in love with you. They love what you're posting and that sort of thing. Right? So I think the one thing I just want to encourage you guys is that, just make sure that you're having fun on social media. Don't forget that it's social. Make sure that you're sharing pieces of your life. Now, again, you don't have to share everything, right? Like Amy talked about, if she could, she'd be posting about her dog 24/7. And we all love dogs on here, but guys, we don't want to do that, right? We got to make sure, right? Like she talked about the 1/3 rule. Oh, so good. And that just fits in perfectly, with this 10-4-1 formula as well. So Sonia, I'll go ahead. I'll pass it back over to you. And thanks for having me share today.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, you are hilarious. I'm going to go watch your feed more, because those comments about your kids are priceless. That is so good. Wow. Well done. And we will have time for questions in a moment. I know I saw several come up in the feed, so just hang tight. We're going to circle back and answer questions. And also I'd love to have Amy and Carla and Sarah share just briefly about what they do when they do get a lot of comments on those posts, because we kind of showed you the different kinds of posts you can put out there. And ideally, when you do this effectively, you'll get comments and likes and shares. And then those are your leads, right? Some of them might be people you know, some of them might be people you don't know. But if you're putting out a power post like Sarah shared, or a really awesome POW post like Carla shared, as people comment, like those are hot prospects. So you don't want to just let them sit there. We want to follow up. We want to engage with them and see if maybe we can get them into a conversation. So we'll circle back and talk about that in a moment if you guys are open. But I know time is tight, and I just want to make sure that we let you know about this opportunity, because it is filling up. We've only got one webinar left and the doors are going to close, and we don't want you to miss out. But real quick, because we want you to get value from all of these sessions, I just want to ask you, of all the things you just heard, and I know there was a lot, if there was one idea that you want to be sure to remember and you're willing to go practice it today or tomorrow or this week sometime, what would it be? Would you just let us know in the chat? Because there's a lot of great stuff, even in a webinar like this, but we don't want you again to just sit here passively learning stuff. We want you to put it into action, because we know even one idea that you put into action can literally start changing the course of your business. So I'm just curious, Facebook lists is a big one. Oh, the 10-4-1 rule is awesome. The POW post, Daphne's all about that. Let's see. Rachel's going to try out a POW post. Very cool. Joyce is just going to post more. That's brilliant. Ivana's going to do the, oh, it's going so fast, I can barely keep up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, if you were to do that, like imagine if you just took one idea from today and you actually went and tried it out in the next couple of days. How much could that change your business in the next week or two? Like if you just got really good at posting content, and let's say like in Carla's example, you put out a couple of POW posts a week and you actually had people raising their hand and saying, okay, we got to talk about this thing that's happening, which is one comment I saw there, or when can we connect? I want to hear more about your business, like was shared in that video. You know, imagine if not only could you get some leads happening every week, but what if those leads actually came to you and said things like that? Like, hey, what is this product? What is this business you're in, Sarah? How come you just got off stage and went to Paris? Like I would have asked that question, Sarah, if I'd have seen that post. So, you know, just give that some thought, because sometimes you don't need a million ideas. You just need a couple of really effective ones that you actually act on, right? And if you consider that, like if you could pick up just a, you know, 5 leads a week from the content that you put out, and imagine if you converted just one of those into a team member. Like if every month you were attracting 4 to 5 new team members because you mastered content, think about where your business could be 90 days from now, and 6 months from now, and a year from now, right? That kind of effective and consistent action is what changes your life, without a doubt. And that's a big philosophy that we have for the Business Academy. So if you'll bear with me, I just want to tell you about this again real quick. And if you loved these ideas, a lot of what we're going to talk about in the Business Academy is going to be focused on content and also how to engage with your leads so that you can convert those leads, those friends, into actual customers and team members. So you may have heard me mention this by now. The Business Academy is an online school